Hi.
Hi. So do I, dear friend. Okay. I think I haven't gone dancing in a while.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of CO in Rome.
This is Sio.
And this is Rome, and this is episode number 48.
48.
Wow. Getting closer and closer to 52.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, a few things in order that we want to get out the way. Best podcast of 2018.
Undisputed.
Undisputed. If you want to dispute it, go ahead and shoot us an email at coinrome@gmail.com.
Ain't nobody say nothing yet.
Ain't nobody saying shit, dog.
You know?
Next thing. If
Tell
you
your
want-
mama to step in my square.
Tell your mama to step in my square.
Bitch.
Yo, clothing. If you want to get yourself a hoodie, a sweatshirt, or a t-shirt, head on over to afgoclothing.com.
Yes, we have a discount code for you guys. If you guys want to get that, it is Zio and Rome 15 gets you 15% off. Cop some merch, take a picture, tag us in it, let us shout you out.
Yeah. And then final shout out, West Coast Sign and Banner. We went ahead and ordered some things from them for our 1-year anniversary party. Hopefully we could get some stickers, a nice little banner or whatever. Just want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for all that you do.
Good looks.
Yo, you know it's so crazy. We're watching this video of this lady on Instagram that was fighting with these high school boys, it looks like, because they were fucking with her son.
She was somebody's mama.
And she went ham and she was like, tell your mama to step in my square, dog, and I can't wait for you to turn 18. She was acting like she was gonna fuck that boy up.
Bitch, she drew a square, an imaginary square on the sidewalk with her chancleta as she was saying it.
She's like, tell your mama.
She's like, tell you, where's your mama? Tell your mama to come step in my square, bitch.
And she was drawing a square with her foot.
Yeah.
Yo. And, you know, the video starts off so funny, too. She was like, the reason why I drive this shit? Because I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
I was like, ma'am, it looks very suburban, but I'm like, ma'am, where are you from?
Yeah, she's definitely not from that part of town. Matter of fact, we're gonna post it on the Zio and Rome page on Instagram so you guys can check out what we're saying. She was a savage.
Like, I feel her where she was coming from.
I was saying the same thing. Like, when I realized that they were clowning her baby for whatever reason, because the little boy even said to her, that's why your son's a bitch.
She was like, are you kidding me? My son will rip you apart.
Yeah, she
I'm
was
like, then why are you fighting his battle, Ma?
yeah, why he's still in the car?
Yeah,
But that you got coins in the bank for.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, as a mom, like, I'm not a mom yet. If I was caught up in the heat of the moment, Lord only knows how far I would have took it. But from the outside looking in, I'm like, she probably shouldn't have taken it that far. I just feel at some point in the conversation, she would have been like, where's your mom?
Oh, I definitely would have asked whose mama,
Like,
where his mama was
I'm not
at.
even going to sit here and say, I can't wait for you to turn 18. Like, after he was calling her trailer trash, white trash, this, that, and the third, I'm like, you know, I'm going to follow you little niggas home. Lead me to your mother.
I agree. Listen, I have had my moments where I thought I was going to fight first graders. Like, it's a real thing. I was
Yeah.
on a school bus about to Medea it like 3 o'clock. I
Yeah.
will meet you at the bus stop, Quincy.
Or go to the school, right, and be like, I'm requesting a meeting with this kid's mom. And then she shows up and you be like, just wanted to put a face to the name.
Yep. To a child. Just wanted to put a mama's face to a child.
Just wanted to make sure I knew who his mama was just in case he decided to try my kid again. You feel me?
Yo, I know this is going to sound really ratchet, and it's going to really, really, really tie me back to, you know, the Bronx, and it's going to tie me back to Zio circa 2002, 2003, but that's okay. If I am not asking someone where their mama is or for their mama to come see me, I'm definitely going to concoct some sort of plan where one of my little cousins or somebody that's younger is gonna fuck these kids up.
See, I can't say I'm gonna take it that far.
Oh, I'm taking it that far. If I don't want to involve family, I'm paying one of these little hood kids $20-$30 like, yo, come fuck this little boy up for me.
I'm not trying to go to
sorry.
jail for plotting on a little kid, bro.
Bruh, if they're fucking with your little, nah, you don't, it's a
You
mommy
gotta go
thing.
to the mom, yo.
I'ma fuck the mama up too.
Okay.
But he's the one that's doing all the fucking around with my kids. So mama's gonna get it for not raising her son up right.
Yeah.
And then the little boy's gonna get it from whoever because he's the one that was initiating all the problems. They both gonna get it.
But what's more epic than his mom
Stepping
checking
in the
him?
square.
No, but what's more epic than his mom being like, yo, stop fucking with that kid because if you do it, she's gonna come back and fucks with me and I don't need that pressure in my life. Like, that's
You know what would be more epic?
epic.
You know what would be more epic?
Hmm.
Both of them sitting in the living room with a steak on their face because they both got black eyes telling each other they should have never fucked with that family.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I told you it was going to bring me back to some hood shit, but I was just letting y'all know what it's like up in here.
Yo, how was your week, man?
It was great. It was great. I don't have anything to complain about.
That's great.
These days, I don't really have much to complain about.
That's good. I'm glad to hear
Yes,
that,
thanks,
bro.
friend.
I'm glad. So, went to the movie, saw Black Klansman. Very interesting movie. You know, what I liked was that it really told the story about this black guy who was a police officer and he got to like kind of infiltrate the KKK. And, you know, it's based on a true story, but it definitely had a lot of tongue-in-cheek moments. You know, it was
Okay.
lighthearted. But the way that the movie ended, they brought it all the way back around to shit that's going on right now. So it left everybody shook at the end. Like,
Don't you love it when stuff like that happens, though?
yeah.
Or even when sometimes I see movies from way, way, way back in the day that still hold so much relevance to shit that's happening now. You're like, shit.
Yeah, so that was a good movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Another thing that I watched earlier in the week, well, actually yesterday, what am I talking about? I saw the Amy Winehouse documentary finally.
Really? That was the first time you seen it?
Yeah.
What'd you
yeah,
think
I've been
about it?
avoiding it.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but it made my heart hurt.
She was an amazing artist. She had a lot going on.
She had a lot of talent, but I just kind of feel like I don't know. I just felt like I could kind of relate to this vicious cycle that she was in,
Yeah.
where the love that she had for Blake really just kind of took over everything else that was going on around her. And I feel that as a young woman, it's so easy for that
sure.
to happen. And I just kind of wish she could have lived long enough to kind of evolve from that. You know what I mean?
Do you feel it's because we're naturally nurturers, so we tend to love so hard that we put someone else's needs above our own?
I'm not going to say that, but I just feel like there was something about him that was feeding something that was missing inside of her, and she was addicted to that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. She just seemed to be a very interesting person, and I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to sound really fucked up.
Oh, Lord.
But I feel like the bulimia over everything was what really fucked her.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so, because
she had a lot of addictions.
she had a lot of addictions, but there were a few times that she's tried to get clean.
Yeah.
And ultimately, when she died, it wasn't that she overdosed on drugs. It was that she got really, really drunk on top of the bulimia and her being frail and all the abuse that happened beforehand.
Yes.
So my thing is, like, had she not been as frail and as damaged,
She might have lost it.
she probably could have survived that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I see what you're saying. Listen, not to take away from her talent, though, because she was extremely talented.
Oh, very.
Very, very, very
And
talented.
it was effortless.
Absolutely. I've never seen someone belt the way that she did so effortless. Well, you know, there's
Even
these
when
divas.
she was under the influence and
That's what I'm
off
saying.
beat, that voice was still like
and for
there.
someone to be so frail as she clearly was with everything that you just stated, it was still like you would think it would have such an effect on her voice, and it never did.
She was the Jewish Whitney Houston, bro.
Yo, dead ass.
Real talk.
Dead ass.
That's what was going on there.
Bro.
So if you haven't seen Amy, check it out on Netflix. Again, sponsor us. We watching all your shit, dog.
Either that means we really, really, really love Netflix, or we have no lives and only watch Netflix, but whatever.
So, you know, this week I got a lot of just kind of topics and questions, thought-provoking questions. You know,
I love
I
those.
hate to do this, But I'm kind of getting away from current events because I don't fucking care anymore. I'm kind of taking it back to our origins of CO and Rome of just like
Yes.
talking about shit. Now, if you want to talk about current events, I'm open to that.
Okay, I have 2 of those, but
Yeah. So you should probably do those first, and then I can do the CO thing. Like, let me
still
ask
have-
you a question.
you know I still
Have
got
you
Zio things.
ever had a friend?
Oh, I have one of those today too.
That's where I'm at with shit. So what
I-
you got for current events?
All right. So first, current event. Shout out to Remy Ma. She's pregnant.
You're late, bro.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
I just saw that this week.
Bro,
It's
she announced that months ago.
Bruh.
When she was wearing that polka dot dress to the BET Awards, that's when they announced her pregnancy.
Why didn't we ever talk about it?
I don't know. Well, maybe because I didn't care. But the thing is that I'm happy for her. But the thing is that she went vegan and was drinking smoothies, and she lost so much weight that even when she was pregnant and announced it at the time, she was still smaller than she was before.
Bruh, I swear I just thought I found out last week that she was recently pregnant.
And she was pregnant when they renewed their vows.
Well,
You saw a little baby bump, but the thing is that she's so skinny that like it was hard to really tell.
I didn't even know. I feel like I didn't even see it anywhere on any of my timelines. Where have I been?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Whatever. From CO to Remy Ma, congratulations. Papoose too. I know that you guys were struggling, so enjoy your new journey together with whatever, old, new, doesn't matter. On to other things.
Okay.
Yo, I know that a lot of people feel a certain type of way about this family. However, they're always in the news, so I'm going to go ahead and speak about them. I know, do you watch the Kardashians?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. So the last episode that I watched, they are so beefing. Kim, Khloe, mainly Kourtney and Kim.
Okay.
But it is definitely like Kourtney against the rest of the family right now.
Okay.
And they were like even throwing jabs at each other on Twitter. Like, you have to read this shit. Like, Kourtney's basically saying how everyone else has different priorities than her, and she's not interested in having more work. She really just wants to be a mom to her children and be there with her children, and then that's it. She's like, I'm tired of being forced to do things with my family when we don't even really get along, etc., etc. They're going back and forth on Twitter. Kim's like, I clearly want to be a good mom too. That doesn't stop me from doing jobs on the side that benefit my children. So I'm wondering, the fact that this goes on air with all their shows, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the fact that they're translating it over to Twitter, which is such a big social media platform, do you feel like this is actual like beef that's spilling over to like real life now, or do you think it's all a publicity?
I don't know. I feel like it could have started with real life that's spilling over to the media, because one of the things I actually wanted to talk about later on is how do we know when not to bring shit over to social media, right?
Right.
And with Kris Jenner being the business mogul that she is, the momager that she is, I'm pretty sure that for many years she's always ran a pretty tight ship to the point where that if there's actual beef, like, we ain't gonna let niggas see us struggling and beefing and this and that. But I think that now it's starting to get to a point where people are getting older, they're having a mind of their own, they don't give a fuck, and things are now spilling over to the media. I think it's quite natural for siblings to have issues from time to time, especially if they have separate life paths and a difference of opinion when it comes to being a mother. Because when you have somebody talking about being a mother, like, it's very easy to get insulted
You get in your
by
feels.
that thing and to get in your feels. And I feel like Kourtney has always had this persona that she don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like maybe this is something that's always there, and it's just now getting to a point where she don't give a fuck anymore, and she's letting us see that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like maybe she was kind of faking the funk to go along with the family
fuck up the
business.
coin.
Exactly, the family business, and because to a certain degree she still benefits from all of it, you know. However, I do agree with you. I think that it's reached its limit for her, and now it's becoming a real life thing.
Yeah, I mean, they are an anomaly when it comes to opportunity. And I think that when I say that, it's when we look at reality TV, there really aren't many reality TV stars that have come up in the way that they have.
Bro, they're like on 15, 16 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and not even season, but just like they really out here doing it. How often is it that we see famous people on reality TV that they're like staging a scenario, or they're making it seem like they're wealthier than they actually
All the
are,
time.
they're more popular than they actually are? Like for these niggas, it's like they really don't even need to show
Yeah,
to
not
keep
a-
it a buck.
Not really,
Like,
because they've ventured out into so many different things since the show became a thing.
and the thing is that generationally speaking, because Kylie is so much younger than the other girls, it's been the gift that just keeps on giving. Like Kim could get old and played out, Courtney could get older and played out, but then there's this whole second wave of younger sisters that's just kind of keeping that train going.
Yes.
I mean, it really, really is a unique scenario. Because let's be real. Like when Ozzy Osbourne and his family had their show, like it was hot for the moment, but we all kind of got bored with that shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like if Courtney indeed is no longer with this shit, she don't give a fuck. I think that Chris needs to really kind of find a way to let her step away from it while they still do their thing. But like only involve the willing participants.
Yeah.
Be smooth about it, but figure that shit out.
I think that they feel like if they are not, maybe Chris is the one that feels this way, that if they're not all a part of it, then it's not really keeping up with the Kardashians.
Well, I mean, but the thing is that the more you force it, the more of
Shit
an
like this
outburst is going to
exactly.
build. Like the more of an opportunity for an outburst is going to happen, because now you have a grown ass adult that you're putting pressure for them to do some shit they don't want to do. Like that's not like that's just a recipe for disaster.
Girl, I'm talking about they was going in on each other. Like Courtney was boohoo crying.
Going in on what though?
Because they wanted to do like a Christmas family portrait.
Oh, okay.
And Courtney was like, okay, we can do it if it's from this time to this time, because I want to be home with my kids by 6. But because they all have businesses going, it was hard to kind of get all of them at the same time together. So the only thing that Kim was asking of her was to be a little bit more flexible with her, time window. And let me tell you, Courtney was not budging, and I think it rubbed Kim so wrong that she was like, literally, she was like, well, shut the fuck up then. You're not going to be in the picture. How about that? You're the least interesting one to look at anyways.
That doesn't surprise me. First of all, I feel like the whole Christmas card shit's been whack from the beginning to me.
Listen, it's
like,
their thing.
You ain't got nothing to prove to me, homie. Your family, we know your family. Like, you ain't got nothing to prove. Why do we have to keep this going? Everyone's building their own little families now. Like, this is unnecessary, okay? The second thing is, like, Kim is very self-aware. Don't get me wrong, she is the most popular Kardashian. She's very aware of that, and she's not afraid to admit that. When she was on the Family Feud episode, they asked, like, out of all your friends, who's the best looking? And she said that she felt it was herself. Like, she's,
wow. Okay.
yeah, she's very self-aware, and, I'm not surprised by this. I just think that let that girl live her life.
I don't know. Regardless,
Like,
I don't
stop.
think that there's ever been a point. Like, I tell my brother or sister that they're adopted all the time when we're joking or beefing, but I've never been like, nigga, that's why you're the least interesting one to look at, you ugly motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Savages. Whatever. That's the only thing I have that's on the news.
Well, I have one thing that just kind of popped into my head.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do more research on this before bringing it up, but there's speculation that Charlamagne's no longer a part of the Brilliant Idiots.
I heard the Breakfast Club.
What?
Yes. I heard something along the lines of him no longer being a part of the Breakfast Club.
But I've seen him on there and heard him on there.
I don't know if it's until his contract is up or whatever the case may be.
Well, he definitely wasn't on the last episode or two of Brilliant Idiots, so I don't know what's going on, but obviously there's been recent allegations and everyone's assuming that has something to do with all of this. My question for you is, like, do you think that the Brilliant Idiots podcast has a chance of surviving without Charlamagne?
I think that it may have a good effort, a run for a little bit. They're going to make the effort for it to continue. It's going to probably go for a little bit of a run, but I think it's going to die down. There's no way that without him as one of these characters of Brilliant Idiots, his comments are always so off the wall. His jokes are always kind of what feeds the conversation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they're going to last long without him.
Yeah, that kind of makes me sad because it kind of alludes to the thought that oh, Charlemagne makes the show,
Don't
which
get it.
to a lot of people it does, but
Andrew is
a
right.
talented motherfucker. He's
Right.
talented. He's smart. Man, he's accomplished a lot with his comedy and shit that he's been doing lately. Like,
But let's be 100.
Yeah.
Out of the two, you would think that when it comes to like the the world out here, a lot of those numbers were being Brilliant Idiots was getting those numbers because of Charlemagne. People
Yeah.
weren't checking for Andrew in the very beginning. I think
True.
that they realized in time with the show how funny this nigga really is.
Yeah.
Which the dynamic between both of them made it such a great show.
Mhm.
But I think that because people were driven there originally because of Charlemagne,
Yeah.
I think that those people may not continue to allow Andrew to have those numbers.
I feel like, I'm really not sure what's going on, but if it is true that Charlemagne's no longer a part of Brilliant Idiots, I feel that there's a way to keep that show going. If y'all need an extra co-host,
Word up.
let us know, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, I hope Brilliant Idiots can find a way to stick around.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, I really hope that this doesn't hurt Andrew's career.
I don't think it may.
I
He's
think
got a lot
he
going
is
for him
so
right now.
deserving of a successful career until someone comes out with some Me Too against that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying that it will, but I just think that, man, he deserves to continue to be able to push on and to be successful. So I don't know. I'll be watching.
I will continue to watch and listen, and I think that it'll be interesting. We do, this is allegedly. We don't know if they're pulling out from him from The Breakfast Club or Brilliant Idiots or both or either or. But I also did hear about a week and a half ago that HBO is pulling his upcoming special In the Gray Area or whatever it's called.
That makes me want to cry.
Yeah. So this is kind of like Bill Cosby all over again. Like he's losing all of his shit, which is crazy because he literally for those of you who don't know, Charlemagne has been in the game for a long time.
Mhm.
Like going all the way back to when Wendy first started popping. And for
Mhm.
those of you guys who don't know who Wendy is, Google her. But all the way back there. So for him to like have invested all of these years, and what do you want to say, like maybe the last 2-3 years it's been like a real blow up session for him?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree to that? He's been known for a minute, but like books
Lately, he's been leveling up.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
it to all of a sudden seem to be going downhill, if that is to be the case, is kind of like all it takes is one thing to fucking pull all of that shit from underneath you.
Dude, I'm just kind of like frozen right now because I wasn't going to talk about something,
But
I kind of feel like I got to keep it authentic
okay.
and talk about it.
Okay.
So, fuck. How am I going to do this, you guys?
What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh God.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this.
Bitch, I just looked at your face and got so scared. We need video in this bitch.
I don't want to do this, but I have to. I have to just for the sake of conversation because it's relative.
I'm so scared. Oh my God.
So I'm all about the sisterhood of podcasting, and I love to see women out there doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But as a podcaster, right,
Mm-hmm.
we are very self-sufficient in terms of what we do. In fact, one of the reasons why we don't put up video is because, one, I want it to be of certain quality and seals an agreement. Like, we don't want to do nothing unless we know we can do it to a certain standard, right?
Right.
The second part of it is that we try to be so self-sufficient with what we do.
Mm-hmm.
One, to keep costs at a, to not overextend ourselves financially,
Right.
right?
Because we have real lives.
Because we got lives.
Right.
But I think that it's great to be self-sufficient in a sense that I don't want any external variables to fuck with the flow of our consistency. I don't want it to be like, oh, we don't have video this week because so-and-so couldn't do it. And I think that it's great when you figure out a way to kind of be self-sufficient and do those things because you have more control overall.
Right. And I'm sure that you can agree with me as well. We are, because there's two of us. And there's one show, but there's two of us. We also try to be very aware of the things that we even do on or say on our own personal pages, and even especially so on both on the Zio and Rome podcast page, because we don't want it to affect the other person by our single opinions or views.
Absolutely. So let me tell you guys something. And being a podcaster, it's kind of like being an independent music artist in a sense if you don't have a big network behind you.
Yeah, the machine. I 100% agree with that.
And my thing is like, this show and what we're doing has the potential to really lead to some big opportunities for us. And we know and understand the ways in which we can generate revenue. But we're not on this podcast selling y'all shit.
Word up.
Okay? We're here doing it because we definitely have a passion for the whole art of podcasting.
Being a creative, yes.
And we have such a level of respect for our listeners that we feel the need to be consistent. And we feel like we owe it to ourselves to maintain a certain level of respect and consistency for what we're doing, so that hopefully when the time comes that it's go time for us to put that pen to paper and sign a deal, that we can fucking deliver.
Word up.
With all that said, it hurts me to see a fellow podcaster that I know they spend time, money, and energy putting a podcast on week after week, finally get the level of attention that they deserve. And then you kind of see that shit starting to go off the rails a little bit.
There's a shift somewhere.
You see a little bit of a negative shift. And I'm like, oh my God, because let me tell you something. It's happened to me twice in life. I remember one time I was at a job interview. Actually, I was in training for a new job. And there was this test that you had to take during your training class that if you didn't pass it, you immediately couldn't have the job. So there were some people in the training class that was kind of like, wow, they're dropping like flies. Someone made that remark and I kind of laughed at it. And the guy that was there was like, you don't understand. I understand you guys are laughing or whatever, but this is someone's livelihood that you're laughing at.
This ain't no joke.
Or whenever you're watching like American Idol or America's Next Top Model and you see someone get in their own head and they start to act like they don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, you're in someone else's spot.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because you're here, we couldn't offer this opportunity to someone else that actually wants to be here. So when I see a podcast like Horrible Decisions,
you done dropped the name,
right, that gets signed to Loudspeaker Network, I was extremely thrilled for them. Very happy for them to see them together. And then now when I see Mandy, aka Full Court Pumps, go on a live stream expressing her frustrations with her co-host and with Alex, and that there's some weird shit going on behind the scenes and she's bringing it to light. I'm like, bro, you got a brand to protect. I don't give a fuck how mad you are at your counterpart. I don't give a fuck what's really going on behind the scenes, but you are in such a great position and trending well. I think that they were covered by Complex or something recently. They're being mentioned by other podcasts, and to kind of see her be expressive on social media about whack ass shit going on behind the scenes. Like, I'll give you guys some background. Alex is friends with Wheezy. And not as close with Mandy, I'm assuming. And both Wheezy and Alex were on the Flagrant podcast, and there were a few jokes.
Now, sorry, but disclaimer just for everyone who doesn't perhaps listen to them. They're very racy of a podcast. They joke which we do too, but they're based off of, their name is Horrible Decisions, spelled WHORIBLE.
And their logo, they both have bananas in their mouths. Okay. So what I gathered was that Wheezy was on Flagrant, which Alex, I think, does the video for Flagrant. So Andrew's on Flagrant.
Yes.
And there were some jokes going around about how Alex fucked the weight off of Mandy.
Correct. She really actually just had weight surgery, though.
Which she's been very open about having VSG. So I think she was offended by the fact that there's now this narrative that she's been fucking Alex, and that really, really bothers her. She said that I hate that I don't want people to think that I'm fucking someone in my industry. And my thing is like, nobody really cares.
Yeah, even if she was, what does it matter?
Like, nobody really cares if it's in the industry, out the industry. Just know that based off what you do on a day-to-day with your podcast, that people believe you when you say that you make horrible decisions. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, we believe you, fam. I'm not here judging you. If you stand in your sexuality and you're proud of that, then that's fine. So I don't know. I really don't care if you fucked Alex or didn't fuck him. She also spoke on the fact that she was upset with the way that Weezy kind of laughed at it and didn't really like stick up for her or whatever or whatnot. You know, I just kind of feel like if she were to address it and that she was really mad, they should have talked about it on the podcast.
That would have been everything.
That would have been the best way to go about it.
That would have been everything.
You know, like always make the best move for business. You jumping on an Instagram live defending yourself when people really didn't care. I feel like it was such bad business. And then she was kind of just saying things
She was
that probably should have been cut behind closed doors about finances. And
not only just that, she was even saying how she may step aside and do her own podcast.
Yes.
Like, how do we know that she is just bringing that to light now? Never even had a conversation with Weezy about it. It's just not a good look. And honestly, if you did fuck Alex, if you didn't fuck Alex, like Rome said, who the fuck cares? If anything, I find it more questionable that you're so upset about the way that it's been spoken about, even if it is a lie, that it makes me question, like, damn, why are you so upset that they're saying that you fucked Alex?
Now, here's the whole reason why I bring this up. So it's my understanding that Andrew might have her on flagrant.
Okay.
And she made a comment that said something like, yo, you should have me on, but if I'm on, I don't want to talk about any sex. I want to talk just sports, which, by the way, I used to be a sports vlogger, reporter, whatever the case is. So I feel like she's kind of in a space in her life where she doesn't want to be looked at as just a sex object. She has one foot in the circle, one foot out, which I can relate to that. I totally get it, you know. But I'm like concerned that if she has the capacity of get pissed and jump on a live stream and just start trashing niggas, like I feel Andrew should tread lightly, generally speaking, because we're in a day and age where a woman could just start spreading out dirty laundry, whether it's true or not, and that can fuck up your career.
Yeah.
So
clearly that's the case.
So with that said, seeing that Charlemagne's not in the picture, horrible decisions, I don't know what direction they're about to go in, but there's tension there, and that Andrew and Mandy might collaborate and do something soon. I don't know. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
It's definitely gonna be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and this is the final thing I'm gonna say about this.
Okay.
It makes me sad after seeing what Combat Jack has done for Loudspeakers Networks to see this shit going down as he lays in his grave.
He's turning over.
Y'all niggas need to respect the fucking craft.
I don't know. I think that's the reason why.
Don't treat this Loudspeaker Network opportunity like it ain't shit and like you don't give a fuck when you got podcasters out here
trying
like
to
us
take that spot
that's willing to like get that paper. Like real talk.
Word up. I'm not even mad at anything that you
like.
Just
it's
said.
Not even a disrespect and a disgrace about the niggas you beefing with, but it's a disrespect and disgrace to other niggas that's out here getting it in every fucking week.
It's not even just. I definitely agree with you. It's also like, nigga, I don't give a fuck if you beefing. Like, always understand and be aware that there's always someone, like you're saying, hungry to take your spot. One slip up and that shit's getting pulled from right underneath you, and the next person that was hungry, that's willing to protect their brand and discuss behind the scenes shit behind the scenes, is gonna keep that spot a lot longer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's that. Okay. So, I have a question.
Sure.
So, you know, I kind of been thinking about this for a while, and I thought about it even more with Black Klansman. You know, in Black Klansman, this guy really did take on a task, and he was extremely passionate about it. And the thing is that you don't get paid extra money when you bust a big, you know, case, or like when you accomplish something on the job.
I thought this was going somewhere else for a second there. Bust a big.
Bust a big. Hey. You know, they just get the pat on the back, like good job, and they get some recognition they deserve, you know. And I feel like there's a lot of careers out here, such as comedy, such as podcasting, such as all these different things in the arts where people work really, 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 really hard, but they really not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they have faith in the hope that one day they'll blow up big or that it'll lead to something greater. But when they're doing the job, they do it like they doing it for a check, but they really not.
That's that
And
passion.
And I feel like, how many people do we know that's out here grinding when it ain't got shit to do with money?
A lot.
Yeah.
Well,
No, how many do you know personally?
Oh,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah. Off the top of my head, I can only really think of one person.
Yeah, so I just
Besides us, obviously.
Yeah, besides us.
But yeah, I can only think of one other person that's grinding out here that intentionally it is for the money, but it's not it's not the reason why they solely do it or why they started. And that's our homeboy Oscar.
You know, I was gonna say Oscar, but I was like, I don't want to make it seem like my nigga ain't out here getting money.
Nah, he's out here getting
but
money.
But the point is, whether he's making money or not, he's still doing it.
Yeah, because there's things that he does, you know, on the side that is very still art driven and being a creative that he sees absolutely no money for. You know, his machine and his tattooing and all of that, he invests in a lot more than people are even aware of.
Yeah.
And he's constantly doing like, you know, seminars or like learning things that are going to continue his growth in the tattoo artist industry. But that's one nigga that I can think of that regardless of money or not, he's still going to chase that passion.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just something that I've been thinking about to kind of encourage myself to keep doing what it is what's really important to me, what really speaks to me. And I feel like we have so many people that feel trapped at their jobs, people that have dreams and ambitions, but they're afraid because they're thinking about the dollars.
Right.
Don't be a slave to that dollar. Like, if you really like commit yourself to what you're passionate about and you just focus on the value of what you're trying to offer, eventually the money will come.
And even when the money comes, you have to be aware to not just solely focus on always getting a bigger bag or always doing it for that bag. I think that it's important to keep that creativity, keep that passion, because once that focus becomes the money and leveling up the money, you should always want to level up the money. But once it becomes your focus, you lose your creativeness.
Now, I think we know a lot of people with artistic ambitions that never get money, you know,
Facts.
And I think that there's a lot of people out there that they're good. I don't know if the left or right brain is the artistic one and the other side is the logical one or whatever.
I think it's left that's art. I'm not 100% sure, but
whatever the case is. But I think that if we all kind of strive to educate ourselves to where we can have that balance between the two, you know, I think that that's ideal for you to be successful. So, you know, I just want to give you guys some encouraging words that if there's hobbies, interests, other things out there that are fulfilling for you, don't let the money factor discourage you from being able to pursue what it is that you truly care about. Like, just start doing those things that speak to you, that make you feel good, because it's a dark, nasty, sad, cold world out there when you're not engaging with things that really make you feel complete and make you feel happy.
Agreed. I think that we all are seeking some sort of financial freedom anyways in anything that we do, whether it's with our creativity or our passion and or our 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. Some of us have to have 9-to-5s on the side and still chase our passion and creativity. And I honestly feel like that's a boss move.
Yeah.
When you feel that I'm still going to do my 9-to-5 to take care of real life shit, but I'm not going to give up on my dream of doing what I'm interested in on the side. So you're working twice as hard as the next person. Yo, respect to that.
Yeah,
respect to that.
Dude, I watched Sinner again.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Did you catch anything you didn't the first time around? I
love
it when that happens.
Yeah, you got to watch it a second time, bro.
Okay, I will.
You got to watch it a second time. Now, one of the things that I picked up on was when she met this dude, you know, she kind of had sex with him right away, which was interesting because she was a virgin, right?
Correct.
So it kind of has me just thinking, for the sake of conversation, and we may have discussed this in the past, like, how soon is too soon to have sex with someone for the first time? Like, is that still a thing?
I don't know if it's necessarily a thing the older you get and the more life experiences you come across. I don't think that people are out here our age that are counting days like, oh, well, there's a few people like that have a 90-day rule that are like, I'm not fucking with him till 90 days. If he can hold out that long, then I know that he's for me, which I get and I don't knock. Maybe I'll be there one day. But my thing is, I don't necessarily feel the need to have to count times that I interact with someone before. Obviously, I'm not out here being a whore, but
obviously,
if I was,
yeah,
who the fuck is to judge me about it?
My question for you, though, is that if a guy is able to get you to drop the panties on the same night that you met him, meaning you dropping the panties within a 24-hour window of meeting someone, do you feel like how compelling does a guy have to be? And what does he do to be that compelling to get you to drop them panties on the first night?
Oof. I've never been in that situation, so I can't really tell you. Obviously, they have never been that compelling.
Okay.
So, challenge accepted, people.
If you are a very compelling man and you want to get the panties off CO, hit us up at coinrome@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we'll be in New York at the end of September. So,
bro, I personally don't think that I would be the type of girl that within 24 hours drops my draws. I can't say never because, you know, I'm still young. So, but nobody's ever been that compelling. But they would have to be extremely compelling to the point where I'm like, I cannot let this moment pass me up. Like my
panties are moist.
Yeah, like I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I'm letting you know I'm going to the bathroom, taking these underwears off. When I get out of here, nigga, like, you better make a move. Like, some shit like that. Or
yeah. That's never happened to you.
That's never. I've had situations where I've had situations where I've known someone for a long period of time.
No, I'm talking about the very first time you ever laid eyes on this human being in your life.
Never. I've had. Oh, wait a second. Time out. So so I've never had a situation like that per se. I've grown a lot this show. I would never speak about things like this, but fuck it. I have had situations where I've known someone for a really long period of time and we've lost touch and then we reconnect and then some shit pops off. So that doesn't really count, right? Mm-mm. Now, when we have reconnected, it has been the first day that we chill that some shit pops off.
No, I'm talking about the first time you have ever seen this person in your entire life.
No, but I did have a situation one time where I met someone through a third party. And we were like, you could tell, like, you know, when you could just tell, like, damn, like, I know I find him attractive. I know he finds me attractive. Like, I know some shit can go down right now if, like, we allowed it. Mm-hmm. So, but nothing did. Mm-hmm. So then we decided to, like, click up again and hang out a second time around.
To test it out and see if it's really, like, there.
Right. And then some shit popped off.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say, like, the first interaction with someone, because we definitely chilled that first day as a group, all of us. But then the second time around, yeah.
Yeah, let me know if you get there.
How compelling has someone have to be with you in order for that to happen? Clearly you're married, so that's not the situation. But I'm saying in your past,
Jonathan and I had sex on the first night we met each other.
How compelling was Jonathan?
I think what it was that I was just very comfortable with my sexuality and that the night was going so well and we clicked really, really well that when the opportunity came for me to come over, I was like, okay, you know, I never had that thought in my head like, oh, I shouldn't do this because it's inappropriate. I just kind of went with the flow because I think like, oh, what's the worst thing that could happen? We could have sex and he never talks to me again. That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just kind of took that risk of like just ending the night on an exciting note. And it worked out in our favor. I guess, we're married now.
Right.
But it was just one of those nights where everything just seemed perfect. The conversation was bomb. You know, we were just so magnetic to one another that it was like, well, shit, all that's left is to find out if the dick is right. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go on having this guy on my mind and like, oh my God, the conversation was so great. And then you're dating and dating and dating. And then you find out months later, weeks later, that the dick is whack after you've already invested so much time and energy having these amazing conversations. I'm kind of like, well, shit, if I can find out up front what the dick is like, that's going to let me know whether or not this could work.
I think that the only issue that I still have till this day, even with the thought of all of what we're saying right now, is the fact that it's so common and so possible for if you seal the deal the first night with a dude that you just meet, the view that he has of you and the view that you have of him can be completely different just because you closed the deal that night.
Yeah, but ultimately, if the view that you have of yourself should supersede all that bullshit. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And my thing is like, if I think I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm like, oh nigga, now you don't want to give me a chance because I fucked you on that first night. That's your loss and you're an immature piece of shit.
Yeah, because I was good.
Well, whether or not I was good, but it's like if they're going to use that,
Oh no.
if you're going to use that for the reason that you don't want to continue to get to know me, then you're lame. And
Right.
that's the way we need to treat these niggas, like they
Church.
lame.
And don't let them convince you otherwise. Oh, well, you know, you decided to fall too quickly after the first time we did something,
And
or
then
blah,
judge
blah,
you
and
for
then
it.
judge you for it. Nigga,
Like,
what
nigga,
the
you were
fuck
willing to put a
ever?
body part inside me. Like,
Word
shut the fuck up.
up.
But all I say is be safe about it. But my thing is that I'd rather find out up front if the sex is bad or if there's incompatibility than to sit here and have these conversations and wonderful dinners and then find out down the line that sexually we're not compatible, because that's happened to me before. And that's a very, very bad scenario. Like, yo, we vibe on every level, but sexually it's trash. And
Word
then
up.
you got to curve a good person because they have a bad penis.
You gotta curve a good person that may still have a good penis to someone else. Maybe not to you, but to
Yeah.
someone else. It's just like the whole podcasting that we were talking about. Someone's out there trying to take that spot. Don't be
Yeah.
out here stealing that person from someone else. Just let it be. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work out, and let someone else have them.
Yeah, so I think that's why I've always been open to, if the sexual chemistry is there on the first night, at least I can fulfill my curiosity.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of women don't feel comfortable with that.
Not only just that, but also I think that I'm going to speak to the guys right now. I think that guys also need to stop judging females in this, because they all of a sudden, a lot of us have found strength in ourselves to be like, no, you're not going to do me like that. Yes, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. You missed your chance, or whatever the case may be. They start to view you as, you're not the good girl I thought you were, or you're different, or no, nigga, people get fed up sometimes. And sometimes that doesn't mean that I'm not a good girl. I am definitely a good girl. I'm speaking in general now. I am definitely a good girl. Just because I am not a good girl to you doesn't take away from who I am as an individual.
Fuck all that. I think that we women should be more in a space where we hold niggas accountable for their decisions too. So it's like, okay, if you're going to shame me for laying down with you on the first night, then what does that make you for being so comfortable to let me in your personal space like that? So it's like, you don't get to shame me for the decision I made, but then take a blind eye and make it okay for yourself. And I think that it really takes a woman that's confident and aware of what the fuck's really going on to really check a nigga like that. And that might turn him on. Like, oh, she just so shit. She told me, nigga.
But with me, I don't even care about stuff like that. Like, if I lose some sort of like respect for you, it's so easy for me to be turned off. So even if you're turned on extremely afterwards and be like, oh shit, like I want to give her the time of day again, nigga, I don't even care anymore.
Make him beg.
Okay,
you're in a position of power at that point, because you're like, nah, nigga, I can't fuck with you because you tried me. And he's like, yo, please give me another chance. And I'm like, nah, you're going to have to work for it. Now he's your slave.
Oh, shit. Modern day slavery. Speaking of strength and power in women, though. Speaking of strength and power in women, did you know, I'm not sure if you've seen this, there's actually an apparatus that shows guys, it's like a little machine, and it shows guys how cramps, like period cramps, feel on a woman.
Oh my God, I saw a BuzzFeed article that they were, I think it was a video, but I didn't watch it, that shows them how labor pains or menstrual cramps feel.
The one that I watched was the one with menstrual cramps.
And the guy was like, oh, I have so much more respect for my woman now.
And it's like a little machine with a remote control that kind of, I don't know if it's like electric shocks in a sense, which was the most similar thing. But every guy that I saw testing it in this video could not deal. Like, they were borderline in tears, screaming, saying they couldn't believe that they were like, this is an exaggeration. There's no way that this is how it actually feels. Which leads me to question, do you believe that women are actually the stronger gender? Maybe not in strength, but in other things.
Absolutely. I mean, The only type of cramps that I think a nigga could kind of compare to menstrual cramps,
Is getting kicked in the balls?
nah, because I don't know how that feels.
Okay.
But like if they're lactose intolerant or something like that, and they get those really bad stomach cramps that have them on the toilet in pain with diarrhea really
I
bad,
feel like cramps are worse.
I feel like menstrual cramps are like a big step up from that. But I think that's the closest thing, because there's really no other scenario other than bad diarrhea that gives them those really bad stomach cramps like that. So then on top of that, I would imagine that childbirth and labor would be even more intense than menstrual cramps. I mean,
Dude, it was crazy. Like we
be just handling this shit like we ain't got no choice.
We're literally
we can't do nothing about
We're
it.
literally waking up in the morning, getting ready to run our errands or go to work, take care of our kids, cook dinner, do whatever the fuck while we're bleeding out of our vagina, and having those cramps on top of it.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, guys are literally like, I'm sick, I need some chicken noodle soup, and they're in bed for the rest of the day.
And they got us making the soup.
Exactly. So I definitely do think that physically perhaps men are stronger, like
in terms of their muscles, and lifting things, and
but I think
things.
that in so many other aspects, don't hate me guys, but I definitely believe that we are the stronger gender
in terms of pain tolerance.
Did you know that I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 157 bones, like the feeling of 157 bones being fractured at the same exact time what labor pain feels like?
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we put up with a lot of shit,
so
and we just have to carry on. Like,
step in my square, bitch. See if I'm still
step in my square, bitch. Nah, I do applaud the thing that I like about most men, if you're in the right relationship, that when you need them to do the things that we can't do, they're there, or they should be there, and we do need them.
Absolutely.
But I do definitely feel like we deserve to be acknowledged a lot more and respected a lot more for the things we put up with. And I think that because a lot of what we feel and a lot of what we do is not tangible, it's so easy to ignore those things. They're happening. They're happening, and we out here just taking it like a champ.
Yeah.
Every fucking day. Step in my square,
bitch.
Anyway,
really quick though, last week we spoke about religion, and I do know that we spoke about Santeria and Brujeria, and we spoke about Christianity, and how you said that you are basically, you do believe that some way, somehow they're all linked at a certain point. They're all the same, that
they are based off the thought of righteousness,
right? The thought of
that
righteousness.
There's different influences politically, culturally, geographically speaking, that makes the differences between these religions.
So ultimately, they may all be the same God. We just view them differently.
Correct.
Right now, I did speak with someone who follow Santeria, and they did say, I'm glad that they listened to the podcast, and they did say, I'm glad that you did, acknowledge and saying
the difference between Brujeria and Santeria,
because Brujeria is really like the experience or the following of the darkness.
Correct.
Where Santeria is like, that is good, and all the purity of it, and in that sense. Now, I've chosen to do my own research from what they've told me, because they said a lot of interesting things to me.
Okay.
That, being a truth seeker in a sense, I try to at least know a little bit of everything. They did tell me something along the lines of Santeria is known as one of the longest religions to ever exist. Like, it goes back tens and thousands of years. I didn't know that.
It goes back to Africa. In fact, when you talk about Yemaya Yoshun and all those things, people who say Ase and all that shit from Africa, it's all that same.
Originated from that.
It's the same lifeline.
Correct.
To all that shit. Yeah.
So that alone intrigued me. So I'm not going to speak too much about it, but I do want to say that they also agreed with the fact that all of our thought process in religion, different religions, are the same. It's just how it's viewed. But Santeria really is the longest in history that has been known.
Okay. So, to comment on that.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm coming from the perspective of like Christianity, right?
Yes.
In Christianity, it is taught and it's discussed that there are other forces.
Yes.
That are out there, and how you shouldn't worship other deities, and you shouldn't worship all these outside forces and things like that, which is the reason why I'm very careful.
Because Santeria is about that.
Yes. And however, I am not dismissive to that shit at all. Shouldn't even say that shit because I do respect Santeria. There is power behind all of these separate deities, and when you call them by name, shit can and does happen. However, the same way we were talking about with Christianity, how there's some Christians out there that give Christianity a bad name, I feel the same thing happens with Santeria as well, where someone will pose that they're Santeria and they're actually practicing the good white magic,
Right.
but sometimes they're a little tainted and it's a little dark. They ride the line with
Or
it.
you're saying depending on how they feel at the moment, like perhaps they're angry and then they may step.
Yes.
Well, I feel like that goes for every religion.
That goes for every religion. I just think that because there are separate deities that are prayed to, that are called upon, I feel that that's what makes that form of religion very scary. And for me, I'm not stepping in that square. You know what I'm saying? I am not stepping in that square, baby. So my thing is that yes, there's good people out there that practice Santeria. Trust me, I had someone take me to a Santeria once when I was a teenager because I was going through some things at the time, and she definitely revealed some things to my mom about me that were definitely going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't knock any of that because I want to know about a little bit about everything. And the reason why I think I was also intrigued by a lot of the things that were being said to me, or explained to me rather, is because my little brother's dad is into Santeria.
Mm-hmm.
And so given that he played a prominent role in my life, I saw a lot of these things.
It's very real.
And it's very real because let me tell you, this man used to say and do things that at a young age I used to look at like, holy fuck.
It's very real. I just guess from my perspective, it doesn't fall in the same wheelhouse of what I'm talking about in terms of religions that follow the main path of righteousness and having that same one individual source. I kind of feel like Santeria deviates from that, where they have multiple different types of sources,
but then in that point
it follows a different
things.
It follows a different pattern, and I kind of feel like brujeria and Santeria are in the same, like structurally they're the same. They're just kind of the yin and the yang of each other.
I don't know. Listen,
I'm not going to say they're the same. I just feel like the intention behind how you practice is what separates whether or not it's Santeria or brujeria.
Listen, I was the fact alone that I was told that this is the law, that it stems so far back, that I didn't even know that. It definitely made me feel like I wanted to know more. And I don't necessarily feel like I'm someone that's tied to a specific religion. I just like to know all things. I know that I'm spiritual in the sense where I go a lot off of I need to do right. I go off of good energy, and as long as I do right, and I definitely know that there's a higher power out there. I'm not sure if it's exactly what we've been told this whole time. I just know that do right. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's how you stay safe.
Right, that's how I stay safe. So regardless of where I end up, you know? So, but it was definitely interesting to know. I appreciate the knowledge and you know, trying to see what else is out there just to know other things.
Yeah, I choose not to practice it.
No,
but I do have respect for it culturally, historically, what it's done for our people for generations and generations. In fact, there may be Santeria acts that have been practiced that protect a lot of us to this day when you look at our ancestry. So I'm not here to discredit it at all. So I want to apologize if I came off any kind of way in the last episode. Do your thing.
Don't step in my square, please.
I ain't stepping in your square. Don't step in mine, please.
Anything else you got?
Yes, I do have one more thing. You know, I had a moment where I had to acknowledge that I was wrong about some thoughts.
Okay.
So, you know, there's this whole like natural hair movement that's been going on for a long time. And I want to say 5, 6, 7 years ago, I decided to go natural, and my hair was popping and all this shit. And, you know, I kind of feel like when people get into the natural hair movement, that they sometimes start to look down on other women that aren't part of the natural hair movement, or women that wear a lot of makeup, or women that wear a lot of weave and they look like they're less than because they're not natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like even though I've never outwardly expressed that, I think that I always had some sort of judgment when I would see people wear weaves. Like there's a way for you to be beautiful without all of that. Like, Ma, you don't need all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was kind of on the Alicia Keys shit. Like, Ma, you don't need all that, you know?
Yeah.
And even though the intention is not to tear down another woman, I do feel that it's maybe a softer form of looking down, like that person is doing something wrong.
I feel like that always happens though on both sides.
Very true. However, as of late, if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of people think it's my own hair, but I've been wearing extensions, right?
You gonna put yourself out like that?
Yeah, girl, because I keep it a buck, you know. So what I did though, because my decision to wear extensions really came about because I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. And I just felt like I was torturing myself by trying to be true and trying to keep it real. And I'm looking in the mirror like, oh my God, my hair is so fucking whack. Like, I don't like this look on me. Mm-hmm. And I eventually got to a point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I hate what I see in the mirror. And it's been a very long time since I felt poorly about myself. So I was like, let me go find me some weave that has the same curl pattern of my own hair, because I need to feel like myself again.
Yes.
And that was really, really important. So now that I've been wearing weave for almost a month now, I feel like my confidence has gone back up tremendously. Like, I feel such like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders because I've been wearing this weave. And what I'm looking forward to is my natural hair growing long enough underneath to where I could be like, okay, I don't need the weave anymore because my natural hair is now at a length where I feel comfortable wearing it again. Mm-hmm. But what I realized now that I've realized like how powerful adding this weave to my head has been, that it's caused me to feel good about myself again, it makes me feel ashamed for looking down on other women for making a personal choice to wear weaves, to wear all that extra makeup. Because at the end of the day, even though I've said it, I now actually feel it. Mm-hmm. You should be able to do whatever makes you feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree to that.
And not to be conceited, but not everyone's blessed with naturally good looks.
But I mean, let's be 100. For a long time after your situation happened and you cut off all your hair, you was rocking the shit out that bald look.
Nigga, I look good as fuck bald, and I look good with hair, but the in-between was...
The awkward stage was like, killing
whoa,
you. Yeah. But I know, because you was contemplating for a long time once your hair was growing back, like shaving it all off again.
Yo, I would go bald again.
Yeah.
If it weren't for...
So you're basically... I just want to make sure and give the clarity that you're not saying that... Well, that shit scared the fuck out of me, bro.
It's some stormy
shit. Step in my square, bitch.
Step in my square.
Fuck? Yo, but I think it's important to say that you're not saying hair is what makes you. Like, you are not your hair. The stage in between your hair growing to where you wanted it to be and then being bald or vice versa was what had you uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the thing is this, if I was in that middle phase of my hair by choice,
right,
I think I could have mentally handled it a lot more. But it was not my choice to lose my hair. I was losing my hair due to an iron deficiency, and that look made me feel uncomfortable. Like, that wasn't my look by choice. Right. It wasn't like, oh, I decided to go bald for fashion reasons and I just got to go through it until my hair grows back because of my own choice. It was more like I felt like I was being tortured with this weird mushroom fro that I didn't choose to have.
Yeah. Trying to work it in the best
work it the best I can, and I'm just like, this ain't sexy to me, this ain't cute to me, and I didn't choose this. And I eventually got to a point where I'm like, I'm sick of this shit, I gotta do something about it. I always had the choice to add weave, but I was fighting it, feeling like I had to prove something to myself to be natural. But I realized, like, you know what, I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. I need to do what's gonna make me feel whole and complete and happy about myself. But the point is, not everybody has naturally feel good naturally. I feel like I'm extremely blessed that I can wake up without any makeup and feel cool about that. But there's some women that they wake up and they're like, you know what? I feel like when I add a little mascara, when I add a little concealer, when I add a little bit of whatever or a lot of bit of whatever, I feel good. I feel empowered. I feel confident. And I should have never been in a space to feel like to try to discourage a woman from doing all of that.
Well, I think we've spoken quite a few times before, and it's something to, emphasize on again, is the fact that as women, we downplay each other a lot.
Yeah.
We judge each other a lot. And
Yeah.
I think that needs to stop. If one woman is wearing too much makeup and it's their thing, that's where they feel comfortable in, and another woman who doesn't wear nearly as much makeup or says that they would never wear that much makeup looks at that female, they're automatically saying things about them. She wears too much makeup. I bet you she's not cute underneath all that. I'm even holding myself accountable for this. And then vice versa. A lot of girls who wear a lot of makeup and see girls that don't, they'll be like, well, boo, you should put some makeup on, or you need to do this. How can you walk around like that? Listen,
Or plastic surgery even. I'm changing my whole view on everything.
Listen, at the end of the day, who fucking cares? You do you do what makes you happy. Yes, opinions, everyone's gonna have them, but we need to stop being judgmental in the way that we approach each other as women. We need to uplift each other. We need to hold each other at because guess what? Men are not going to respect us if not only do we not respect ourselves, but respect each other.
I agree with that 110%. And my thing is, like, even though I've never been like a straight up rude ass bitch out here trashing ladies, I have to be honest and say that there's been certain thoughts in my head like, damn, why she wear so much makeup?
Exactly.
Damn, if you gonna wear weave, why the fuck it got to be a 22-inch weave? Or damn, like, why the fuck, like, your lips were fine the way they were. Why'd you have to get lip injections? There's things that are going on in our head, and I feel like the most important view is the view that we have of ourselves.
Mhm.
If you can achieve a place, if you're in a place in life where you can look at yourself naturally in the mirror and be content with
happy.
yourself, then kudos to you. But to the next woman that's not there, baby girl, do whatever the fuck you got to do to feel good about yourself, even if
Yeah.
that means enhancing yourself. And I just feel like
We need to stop knocking each other
I
down.
owe an apology. I feel like I had to make this confession and apologize to every single woman in the world for ever having that thought in my
That's
head.
big of you. So I will take a ride on that train and say I apologize as well for being judgmental sometimes and clowning whoever in my own head, obviously,
Mhm.
whoever I feel is. I'm not really big on the whole like makeup vibe. I've said this before, like, and then I'm like, how do these girls wake up hours before they have
Wearing
to go
like
to work?
showgirl makeup, like they about to
Contour,
perform.
highlight, eyelashes, like all of this, and then I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, it's not. First off, it's none of my business why she feels the need to fucking put so much makeup on. If that makes her feel better, let her proceed with her day, and let me go on with my little eyeliner and mascara and be done with it.
Mhm.
Like, that's not my place to judge her.
Yeah,
It's
and
not my place.
not one person is better than the other. In fact, I kind of applaud the woman that's kind of cracked the code and figured out what makes them feel complete. You know what I mean? Like, if
Correct.
you know that makes you feel better and that's what you've been doing, you've been exercising your choice and doing whatever makes you feel good. So that should be applauded. So, yeah, I really wanted to address that.
We
So
need
I
to
would,
practice on minding our own business more.
I agree.
I have one last thing.
That's it.
I have one last thing.
Oh, go for it.
All right. So as I've gotten older, I do realize a difference in the people that I choose to surround myself with,
Okay.
and I'm sure you agree with that, right? You've changed the perspective of how you view people that you want around you.
Yeah.
Do you believe that it will continue to change as well as we get older?
Yeah, for sure.
And should we be concerned as to that causing other people to get left behind?
No.
No.
Nah, I just think that whenever you acknowledge that you're going through a shift
Mm-hmm.
and that you're going to start distancing yourself from certain people, just always prepare yourself that if that person notices and they question you about it, be prepared to have a conversation about it. I don't like when people make a decision not to fuck with me anymore for whatever reason. And when I notice it and ask them about it, they can't have a conversation with me.
Oh, they'll pretend. Oh, no. It's
Or they'll
not.
just completely ignore me. And that's happened to me before. And the thing is that not that anybody owes me anything, but my thing is that I respect the person a lot more if they can let me know like
Vocalize.
what went wrong, because it might be a teaching moment for me too.
Amen.
You know, if I was doing things that I didn't realize I was doing, or if I have habits that are a turn off, or, you know, like, I don't want anybody robbing me of a teachable moment, because when you just poof and disappear and I don't know what happened wrong,
how am
how
I
do I-
supposed
how
to
am I
know
supposed to
to
improve
not do
on it?
this again?
so being that I've been on the other side of that, when I decide to distance myself from someone, if they do step to me and ask me like, yo, like, what's going on? You know, if they really meant something to me and were important enough to me, I can have a conversation with them and be like, well, there was a series of events and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I still respect you and I think you're a great human being, but I just kind of, I'm in a space in where I'm in my life where it's important that I kind of stay on this path, and I just kind of feel like we're in two different places. Like, have that conversation, you know, but either way, whether you want to have constructive conversations with people or not, I think self preservation is important,
Mm-hmm.
and surrounding yourself around the wrong people can have you ending up like Amy Winehouse and shit.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'm just keeping it
No,
a
you're
buck,
right.
you know?
But see, I feel I'm on the fence with what you just said. I'm stuck in between two feelings or two thought processes where I understand that some people are owed a certain explanation, where if you've just outgrown them and the person who you are becoming doesn't necessarily consist of having them in your life because of them going in a different path, then in fact, yes, they are owed some sort of explanation if they feel it as well and come to you. However, there's also situations, in my opinion, that if someone is doing something that is not necessarily, you know, being a good friend to you or being a good person in your life, and you've had a conversation with them and they continue to do that, by all means, as an adult, you do not owe that person any explanation as one adult to another to tell them what it is that they are doing wrong.
That was going to be the caveat I was going to add. Is caveat the right word?
I don't know.
The caveat I was going to add is that if the person is very self-aware, we've either had previous conversations or they know exactly what they did to cause me to distance myself.
I ain't gotta say
I
shit.
I don't owe you an explanation. However, if I just naturally slipped in this other space and you're completely oblivious to why I made
Then
this
yes.
shift, I think it's good to have that conversation. I don't feel that it's ever owed. I just think that it's classy.
Yeah.
It's a
And
more adult and mature way to handle
especially
it.
if you don't want to end it on these ill feelings towards each other, where if at any point you're mentioned, this person only has negative things to say about you.
Yeah.
If you do want to end it and just be like, listen, it is what it is, we had a good run, we're
Like, you know what the fuck you did.
Yeah,
okay, like,
exactly.
let's not play this game.
That's my thing. I don't like when another adult that clearly knows they're doing wrong expects responses and answers from another adult. Listen, we're grown. We know what right and wrong is. I don't have to sit here and explain to you what it is that you're doing wrong. You
Right.
clearly are aware of that. So yes, if you want to, go your separate ways and you have had a good run with this person, then I think it's fair to owe them some sort of to tell them some sort of explanation of why you're going a separate way.
It's not necessary.
It's
Shit, if
not
you just skate
necessary.
away without them asking and without you
By all
telling, then
means.
by all means,
But if not, step in my square, bitch.
step in my square, dog. Know what I'm saying? Yo, I cannot wait to use that in real life.
Yo, I want to so bad. And I only have the image in my head of her making a square with her chancleta.
I want to know who she is. We got to find her.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Before we go, we have our 1 year celebration kicking off. It's going to happen on September the 2nd, which is a Sunday. Most people have the following Monday off, or somehow I got to find out what holiday it is. I don't know.
Labor Day.
Labor Day, whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, it's going to be in the town and country area of Tampa, 33615 to be exact. It is going to be an invite only scenario, meaning that if you want to come, reach out to us and then we will send you the
Tape.
details on it.
Okay. I was about to say what it is that we send.
Oh, yeah, we'll send you the details, like the address and the time and the place like that. And again, it's going to be an intimate setting, so I just don't want to be putting addresses and things like that on
Right.
blast. So,
Right.
we're going to have a really good time, really, really good vibes. And, I just can't wait to spend time with the people that have been supporting us for this past year. I'm really, really excited about that.
Same here. Same here. I cannot wait to see a lot of you guys. You guys can actually see what quirky, crazy, out there individuals we really are, even outside of the whole podcast thing.
Yeah, you can see that this shit's real, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Church.
This who we are.
Step in my square, bitch.
Step in my square, bitch. If you want to step in our square, come on down to the seal in Rome.
Don't step in my square, bitch. I'm telling you right now.
All right, you guys. Again, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.